Hickok 45. Looks pretty natural in my hand. A firearm like this, doesn't it? Big old Colt 45 Colt. This one has to be made by Cimarron, and it's a replica of the Cavalry Colt from days of yore, and we're going to shoot it. This happens to be the Henry Nettleton version of the Colt single action, which was, I have never fired it. I thought we'd all fire it together. How's that? So I'm going to put 5 rounds in it and try it out. But it's a Henry Nettleton version. He was a sub-inspector for Colt back in 1878. I don't know, maybe before and after. But he has his initials on this. He only inspected, as I understand, about 3,000 firearms. So a little bit rare. And yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that and shoot this thing, won't we? It's a replica of the old Cavalry Colt, rather. Well, we just start out and test the accuracy on that 2-liter. I have no idea where to hold. I do know I need to get my ears in, because I do have an idea it won't be quiet. It's not silenced or anything. All right, at least it'd be okay across the bar room, it looks like. Let's see if it's any good for smoking pot. Looks like we already got some smoke going on there in the crematorium there. Might shoot high a little bit. Well, let's just get closer. Do I have any more rounds left? I think that was it. Okay. I like to do this every now and then, just since I didn't mess with it a lot and been shooting other things. I thought, well, I hadn't fired it. Let's just wait, keep it clean until we're ready to do a video on it. All right. So that might have been me, or it might not have been me. The 7-inch guns typically print pretty close to aim, better than usually more so than the 4 3/4 or the 5.5 inch guns of this nature. Again, this is a Colt clone, which means it's like a Colt, and it's a modern gun replica made by in Italy by Cimarron, imported by Cimarron and everything, to replicate the U.S. Cavalry Colt. And that's where these came from. This is why they're called the Single Action Army again. Because it was adopted by the U.S. military. That's where it really, I guess first saw use. In a 7.5 inch barrel. See the U.S. on the side there? They got the proper marking there in about the right spot. And also, again, this one was inspected by Henry Nettleton, and they have supposedly duplicated everything exactly, I guess as much as possible. This is where he would put his stamp on the side of the hammer. You see the little HN down there. And then also on the trigger guard. Spin it around here. And there it is right there, the HN. And supposedly in the same font and size and everything, okay? That, the inspector's marks were on the originals. And it was only about 3,000, so kind of a rarity. Now this is not rare. They could make 15 million of these if they wanted to, had time to, right? But those old Colts are really rare, and of course they're expensive, and that's the beauty of it. And don't ever make too much fun of a replica of something like this just because it's not original, or maybe something is not quite right. You don't want to criticize it too much. We want to be pleased that somebody is making these replicas. That's so cool, and it has been for decades now. You can go get a Henry rifle replica, as we know, in 1866, 73s, and all these things that very, very expensive to buy the originals, and then some of them are so old you wouldn't even want to fire them. It'd be maybe you don't have ammo for them, like an 1866 Winchester, because they fired a rimfire 44. Where are you going to find that ammo? At Walmart? And so, it's nice that someone's making those. And, speaking of firearms, we appreciate Bud's Gun Shop and support of the channel. They're right there at your computer screen. Also, Silencer Central. Great outfit. You've seen the Banish line in many of our videos, and recently especially, so appreciate them. And the Sonoran Desert Institute. You can get some wonderful instruction right there on your computer screen about lots of things: drone technology, firearms technology, gunsmithing, and everything. Get on the road to becoming a gunsmith. Yeah, appreciate the people that support us, and we hope you support them. Now, what's this thing doing out here? Well, I couldn't resist bringing out the original. You know, this is my baby, my best Colt, and my best gun, probably the most collectible gun I have, I guess. So I happen to have this gun. And you see the US on it. Yeah. Hope I don't mix them up and send the wrong one back. That'd be kind of bad, wouldn't it? So anyway, you know, they are very similar. They have the similar feel and everything. The cartouches on the wood are kind of worn on mine, barely can see it, but they've duplicated all that in this firearm. See the US, and you know, some of the other things might have worn down a little bit. This one says, instead of Colt, Hartford, Connecticut, it says Cimarron in Fredericksburg, Texas, of course. But you know, the biggest difference, I guess, that kind of jumps out at you is the base pin, you know, screw here. You know, on the old Colts, it was kind of flush with the frame like that one, and you know, they've kind of gone to this. Makes it easier for people to get in and out. Take the base pin out and then the cylinder to clean it and everything, but it's a little bit obnoxious, I'll have to say. So that's the only real difference. I've seen that on some of the other, you know, imports and replicas, but yeah, it's nice to be able to get something that is pretty close, exactly like what, you know, a soldier would have been issued back in the 1870s, 1880s. It's pretty cool. This one was 1883, so that thing was, my guess is, carried by somebody on horseback. Okay. And I guess you could buy one of these and then go out and ride your horse with it too. But this, you could also carry it in your Corvette, right? Which the guy who carried this couldn't. So pretty neat. Don't have a holster for it really out here, but I want to thank Alabama Holster. They could probably make a Kydex holster for it. Great little concealment holsters. Check them out. This you wouldn't want to conceal too much, would you? Let me shoot the thing again, okay? I like these replicas are great. Let's shoot some Fiocchi in it. You know, they're wonderful things because firearms are expensive to begin with, and you start getting into the originals and you start really talking about some money, and then also the fact that you might not even want to shoot it much. I'll get that. You know, because it is so valuable. And so a firearm like this you can get a hold of for reasonable, you know, money, and then actually fire it and feel like a real cowboy or a real soldier, right? Okay, I'm going to move up and see where this thing hits. Can I do that? Not that it matters that much. You know, I just, you know, borrowed it for a day or two, and I'm not going to battle with it, but I hope. All right, let's hit that stop sign. All right. Okay. I see why I was missing. I'm going to shoot further out at the cowboy. Yeah, got it. I think the print's just a little bit to the left. That was my issue. Either that or I was pulling it a little bit. So I thought it was the elevation was way off. So I was either pulling a little bit or it prints a little bit to the left. They typically will print high. So let's empty that thing out. Anything else you want to know about it? Like I say, it's like all the other Colts and Colt clones that you see that are made in Italy. Cimarron typically does a good job on theirs. They're one of the best, I think, in terms of what they require. And then you get things sometimes a little more historical, and it's cool that they you know, are making this one based on, you know, one of the inspectors, you know, at Colt. And again, because he only inspected and stamped about 3,000 of them, then it's represents, you know, one of the more rare Colt single actions. So that's pretty cool. the 7.5 inch is nice to shoot. It's yeah, they're typically easier to hit with. I'll shoot it one more time and let you go. Okay, might shoot some Underwood. Try that. So it has the same one-piece grips and everything, and a lot of replicas and guns come with a 2-piece grip, so that's kind of a nice feature. Now, as I read these Henry Nettleton, many of them were later cut down to 5.5 inch guns, and but I'm not sure. I've probably seen some of them somewhere at a gun show and just didn't know what I was looking at. I wasn't familiar with it that much. Never knew George Nettleton, but let's try these. These are 255 grain bullets. Yeah, lead. Keith, send me wad cutters. All right, let's get that cowboy. You want to? This is the gun to shoot a cowboy, a desperado with. Yeah. I'm going to shoot this with both hands. Try to get a really good let off. It's got a heavy trigger. I'm going to shoot that tombstone, and I'm not going to shoot it anymore probably, but I just want to see what my impression is of whether it's going right or not, or left or not. Okay. All right. I think it was me. It's got a very stiff trigger. Take a little getting used to. I think that's why I was missing or pulling left a little bit. Yeah. So I don't think it shoots left. I think I was shooting left. So anyway, it's got empties in it. And again, if that's of interest to you, the Henry Nettleton version of the Colt Cavalry model. Again, whenever you see Cavalry associated with the old Colt single actions, that's usually referring to just the early models or the 7.5 inch barrel, because that's what they started out with, and those were the ones, the length that the U.S. Army adopted. Okay, and it was actually a little while before the shorter barreled Colt single actions started showing up, in civilian hands and everywhere. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Might be an option. No home is complete without a 45 Colt. That's just a fact. Life is good.
Oh yeah, that's better. This is a great gun for defense. Oh hey, didn't see you guys there. While I've got you here, I want to remind you of our friends over at Talon Grips and Ballistol. Talon Grips makes grips, can you believe it, for all different types of firearms. You can get rough texture or more of a rubberized texture. It just sticks right on there. Really affordable, really cool option to improve the grip for your handguns or rifles. So please check them out at talongungrips.com. You'll be glad you did. And also Ballistol. Dad has been using Ballistol for many years. It's a cleaner and a lubricant, and it's non-toxic. It works really great, and we're happy to have them on board since it's been a part of our shooting endeavor for a very long time. So go to ballistol.com, talongungrips.com, and also while you're out there, I'm juggling all these things here. Also, while you're on the internet, please do check out our other social media like Hickok45 on Facebook. There's also Hickok45 on Twitter, The Real Hickok45 on Instagram. There's a John_Hickok45 on Instagram where I do some things. There's Hickok45.com. You can find us also on Gunstreamer. So check out all that stuff and then watch more videos.